This is the noisiest studio in Hendersonville.
It's because you are off of Main Street.
Yeah. Every time I interview a local leader, I ask them if they can divert emergency traffic away from Fifth Avenue because it always messes up the podcast. We are live.
Okay.
I've got Mary from Getting to Know Hendo. That's how I met you.
Yes.
But you do a lot more than just Getting to Know Hendo.
I do.
So it's a podcaster interviewing a podcaster.
Which is fun.
Yeah. I love your storyteller website. You also have a character named the Oval Man. Oval?
Yes. I do.
So it's really interesting that, storytelling is a lost art.
Oh, right.
Is a dying art. And you parlayed your storytelling into podcasting and your podcasting into storytelling. Which came first?
Oh, storytelling, for sure. So just a little bit of background. I'm a retired Henderson County public school teacher, but I came to story naturally. My grandparents are Irish and my dad's from Georgia. And if you're from Georgia, you tell some stories.
Yeah.
And if your grandparents are Irish, you hear some stories.
Yeah.
So I just, storytelling is in my DNA, really. And I'm a theater person, too.
Okay.
That's my background. That's primarily what I taught in the public schools was theater. But I noticed as a teacher, you always have every so often this gap where you're waiting for something. Like you finish class just a little early, and even though it's a 90-minute class, you have 8 minutes. And 8 minutes with teenagers in a big auditorium is not good. They can get into so much trouble so fast.
Yeah.
So you can play theater games. That gets a little old some days. So one of the things I would do every once in a while, if we had time, or maybe we were waiting for them to announce the early dismissal because it was going to snow, I would tell them stories and they would be riveted. They would say, tell me more, tell us more, tell us more. And then, so I was at West Henderson High School, and my former husband and I adopted our daughter from Russia, which is a whole other story.
I read that, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that, too.
Oh, well, that's a day and a half of talking, if you want me to talk about that experience. So I knew I could not be in rehearsal constantly. Theater teachers just live at school. Most high school teachers live at school. Yeah. And I said, I want to still keep teaching. So I moved down to elementary school, taught visual art and drama, loved that. I loved teaching. And the same thing would apply. Every once in a while, the kids would be standing in line. They're waiting for their classroom teacher to pick them up. She's running late. She has to go to the bathroom. She has a call, whatever. And I'm like, well, I'll just tell them a story. And again, they were just riveted. And I started thinking, I think this is what I'll do when I retire. Because when you retire from teaching, you're often in your 50s, usually. And what do you do? So I actually went and did the craziest thing. I got a master's degree in storytelling. And it was hard to do.
Where do you get those?
There's only one place. And the only place in the world, as far as I know, to do that is at East Tennessee State University.
Okay, just over the hills.
Just over the hills. And most people that know that area know that that's the storytelling capital of the world is in Jonesboro. So it's a big story area. And just this idea of reviving storytelling became so important in the 1970s. Let's not lose these old Appalachian stories. And it's something you and I think really have in common. Is we know that there's such great stories out there, whether they're personal stories or anecdotal stories or just old tales that have been told for 1,000 years. There's just great stories that need to keep on being told. People need to keep on being listeners, not just watchers of media, listeners. So I decided to get a master's degree. I was like, I feel like I've been waiting to get this master's. Why not get it in this? It's right up the road. It took me 6 years. At that point in time, I was a single mom teaching. It was hard. And then right before I'm about to, graduate, the pandemic hit.
Oh, boy.
Right. So I finished
Which
up.
stopped all storytelling completely. It just kind of shut communications down.
It shut all the arts down.
Yeah.
It shut everything down.
Yeah.
And so there I am with a thesis that is just dangling there, and we're trying to figure out what to do, and the universities are scrambling. So I think I am the first person at East Tennessee State University to ever do my capstone thesis, which was a performance, an hour-long performance, and then also me discussing my actual thesis on Zoom.
Wow.
I think I was the first one.
That dreaded Zoom.
Yep. It was hard. When you're a performer, you need that feedback.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it. I had my then 16-year-old daughter occasionally giggling, and her job is to like be my techie in case something goes terribly wrong and my Zoom cuts off. So it was an interesting experience, but I finally got it. So then I'm retired. I have this master's degree. It's the pandemic. So I had a while of just kind of spinning my wheels. And at this point in time, my husband had not started his business. And you know him a little.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Michael, he's in my vision class.
Right. Michael is in Visions. Yeah. Which is a great thing.
See, like I said, this is the noisiest studio in Hendersonville.
Yeah. That's all right. It's just adding to it.
Yeah.
Well, we're in downtown. This is what it is. I kind of had to get back into it. The whole time I was doing my master's, so I should go back and say, I was doing storytelling all over. I told stories at a bar and grill called The Blue Ghost. It doesn't exist anymore. I told stories. That was a great name. That was a fun place to do. I did libraries. I did schools. I did retirement centers. And that has been my job. My part-time job. I just do that for fun, really. I'm not trying to support myself or pay my mortgage on it, thankfully, because the people that can do that are very different storytellers. There's sort of two worlds of storytelling. There's what I would call more local people who I think every town has them. They run the ghost tours. They do the library events. They'll go into the schools. And then there's platform storytellers. Do you know about those?
Platform storytellers.
Yeah. Ever heard that?
No.
Okay. So in the world of storytelling, it's kind of like the big time, but you have to be a certain type of person. You have to want to be in your RV and go all around the United States of America. Or if you're elsewhere in different countries, and you literally go from festival to festival to festival.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just storytelling festivals. Sometimes it's arts festivals, music festivals.
Yeah.
And they pay you, if you're good, a lot of money to stand up on a platform with a microphone and tell stories.
Yeah, in Colorado they had like old timers with beards, and they would dress in the Old West garb, and they would tell Western stories. So I know exactly what you're talking about now.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. I would describe those as more like usually those are local people.
Yeah.
So platform storytellers actually have a whole following. I mean, they literally have groupies. People will follow them to festivals. People will just fly into Jonesboro to hear them.
Are they poets too?
Sometimes they are, but normally, they range. You can have people that tell nothing but personal stories. So it's interesting too, all the different ways story is used. And I should back up and say that if you get a master's degree in storytelling, not everybody wants to tell stories. That sounds strange, but people will go work, for example, they'll get this master's degree and use it to work with people who are about to go on trial. Say a woman is going to testify against her husband and she's horribly nervous. So I know a storyteller who works to prepare women for trial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's endless. They'll use it also for medical in the world of medicine, therapy. It's just kind of has a lot of different offshoots, more than you would think. I think most people think, oh, you show up to the cute little thing at the cute little place and you hold a book. Well, no storyteller holds a book. We're storytellers. The book is in our brain. Yeah. The story's in our head.
Musicians, in a way, are storytellers.
And so many professional storytellers are also musicians.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They often go hand in hand. So a musician will stop sometimes and tell stories, or sometimes storytellers will add music.
Yeah.
And so the platform storytellers, their genres vary wildly. Some of them are hilarious. Probably the most famous one is a lot of North Carolinians are very, very famous storytellers. And Donald Davis is probably arguably, I guess, the most famous storyteller maybe in the world. And he grew up in Waynesville, I think. He grew up in Western North Carolina. He lives on the Outer Banks.
Cool.
And he can draw a crowd of thousands, Nick. Thousands of people will go to listen to that man tell a story.
He's the Taylor Swift of storytelling.
He is. Now, I think he may be partially retired. I'm not sure. I don't really live in that world. My world is here in this county.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what I do.
It's the oldest art form.
Yes.
But it was also a way of communicating the news of the day.
Yes.
And current events and things to prepare for. The earliest cave drawings are storytelling.
Yes.
In a visual way. So you come from a pedigree of storytelling.
Yes.
Your father was Irish and from Georgia.
Yeah, well, he was from Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
My mom is Irish.
Your mom was Irish and your dad was from Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's rewind. Are you from Georgia originally?
No, I was actually born in California, but I came here as a young teenager. So I truly, with the exception of 4 years of college, I sort of ended up coming back here. I didn't mean to, but Hendersonville just draws you back.
Yeah.
They needed a theater teacher in their schools. And I was like, oh, that's what I am. I guess I'll come here.
So what drew you here when you were a kid?
My family. I had no choice.
Okay.
They packed us up and we came out here mainly because California is, in the time period still possibly is expensive. It's wild and woolly.
It's very expensive, yeah.
Yeah, my parents were a little more conservative. We also needed to be closer to my grandmother in North Georgia.
Okay.
So my dad could help her.
What year was this?
80.
Okay. And he found employment in Hendersonville?
Yes, my father was an attorney.
Okay. With a firm that still exists, or?
No, so the Jack Lyda, who is in my dad's old office, was his partner for a little bit.
It's on the corner of
my dad,
64.
That was my dad's law office.
Cool.
Yeah, forever. He was here a long time, but he's retired. Retired.
What did your Irish mom do?
My Irish mom was a stay-at-home mom when I was little, and she raised Irish setters. I'm not even kidding you. So I grew up with a big red dog attached to a show dog leash. And my mom was a realtor.
Okay.
Yeah. So that helped a lot when Michael, my husband, started his job.
Yeah.
I already knew a lot about real estate and how kind of real estate worked just because I would help my mom all the time. I was like my brother and I were her little helpers. We went to so many open houses and turned on all the lights in the house and listened to people. And, just real estate was our world.
So it's a law. You have to give a shout out to your high school. What was your high school?
West Henderson.
Henderson.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a chant or a hoo 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 or anything that you do after you say that?
No, go Falcons.
Okay, go Falcons. So you were in your early teens when you came here.
Yes.
You went to West Henderson High.
Right.
You went away.
Yes.
You went to UNC Greensboro. Did I read?
I started there.
Okay.
To be an actress.
Okay.
But
another storytelling genre.
Yes.
Role.
But the real reason I'm sitting in this chair is what happened to me when I was 19. Because when I was 19, I knew I could not be a stage actress because I was at that point diagnosed with a very rare eye disease. And that the very first marker of this eye disease that everybody notices is that you cannot see in dark places. I wanted to be a stage actress. I had no interest in Hollywood. I wanted to be up on that stage singing and dancing, and theaters are very dark.
Yeah.
And I always struggled. I had struggled. And finally at age 19, I received a diagnosis. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But so then I changed my degree to education. I'm like, well, I think I'll teach because then I don't have to always be backstage.
Yeah.
It's not always like coming off stage into the bright lights and then going backstage and on stage and backstage. Your pupils are constantly having to accommodate. It's really hard to do if you're low-sighted. So that made up my mind, and I have never, ever regretted that decision. I loved, and I still love teaching. That is my passion more than anything else I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said low-sighted, and that means your vision isn't good in low light. Or
No. So I'm glad you asked me that. So low-sighted is something we don't hear a lot because
you hear nearsighted, farsighted.
right. What low-sighted means is that you still have enough vision that you do not, usually it means you do not need a cane yet. Although lots of people with canes still have some good vision left. So I am low-sighted. What that means is that I have very poor peripheral vision. My eyes do not adapt to light and dark. I have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. It's rare. We're just going to call it RP because it's a long word. My husband, Michael, calls it things like riding pygmy on a horse. I'm like, retinitis pigmentosa is hard to say. In my case, also, I'm finally beginning to lose what's called central vision. So when you lose central vision, you absolutely have got to stop driving. You can't read things as well. You can't see things at a distance. So there's different variations of this eye disease. It affects people very differently. It's kind of like a spectrum, like the autism spectrum. And some people are blind by the time they're 20 from retinitis pigmentosa. It depends on how their genetics work. And some people can make it into their 60s and 70s and still drive, but not at night. That's the biggest thing. Nighttime is a nightmare for people with RP.
What do things look like through your eyes during the day when there's plenty of light? What do things look different?
Yes. So the way I describe it is, first of all, you know how like when you're little kids and you do binoculars?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do binoculars, I don't see and your fingers touch in the middle above the bridge of your nose.
We're both doing binoculars.
Yeah, we're doing binoculars, listeners. What you see is where I will be pretty soon, I would say, in a couple of years. So if you widen just a little, to me, that's what I see. So now imagine walking around your office, going up and down the stairs, and you have no vision below you or beside you or above you. So
you probably have to strain your neck more to
I do.
look around.
I put my head forward a lot. I don't mean to, but I do. But you always have the jokes for people with RP. The big joke is those stupid wet floor signs. I mean, if there's a wet floor sign, we're going to knock into them. We can't see handshakes. People will go to shake our hand and not. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been introduced to somebody. I'm looking at them with my eyes "Hi, how are you?" And then Michael will be like, "They want to shake your hand." Oh, because I can't tell.
Yeah.
People will go to high five me. I don't know. People will hand me things. If they hand it to me low, I don't see it. So it's kind of like having your hands wrapped around your eyes. Then once you begin, it's also hard to explain, but everything's very pixelated, grainy maybe. So I tell people I feel sort of like I'm looking through a dirty windshield, or I'm looking through a double screen. You know how when you look out of a screen door, you can't see quite as well?
Yeah. Double
that screen. So I can see things. I can see you. I see the mic. I see the blinds. I see this neon sign, but I can't see it well. That's low-sighted.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, the other thing that makes you low-sighted is nothing can be done about it in terms of corrective lenses. My glasses really are just readers. They magnify letters, but there's no glasses I can wear that's going to make my peripheral vision instantly better. They're working on it. I do know that there's sunglasses now made by Ray-Ban, I think, that actually will tell you things. So I can say to
the meta glasses or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but they're for everybody. You don't have to have a prescription. So if you're walking down the street and you can't see the light, you can say to your sunglasses, this is so cool, it's so Star Trek-y, "Hey, sunglasses, what color is that light?" And it'll literally tell you the light is yellow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That will come in handy for driving for sure.
For people that are beginning to lose their vision, yes, super in handy. So there's nothing we can do about it. Glasses only help a little.
Is this a rare disease?
Very rare, yes.
Are we talking hundreds of cases in the country, thousands of cases?
Thousands.
Thousands.
But yeah, so I think something like 4% of the US has what's called an inherited retinal disease. So that includes the one most people know, macular degeneration.
Yeah.
And I hope that, I mean, it could be that somebody's listening to this and they're like, no, Mary, your statistics are off. But it's definitely, if you Google retinitis pigmentosa, the extremely rare is what comes up. Now,
RP. My mother had macular degeneration before she had dementia and before she had pancreatic cancer, but I assumed that it was eventually going to lead to blindness.
Yes.
Do you feel that that is the case?
Yes, no. It depends. Again, some people do go eventually blind, and some people, it takes a while. They might, maybe if they live to be 100, yes, but we all go at different times. And one of the reasons why we don't know a lot about RP is our mortality rate has changed so much, right?
Yeah.
Also, people just didn't know. I mean, they didn't used to be able to take cataracts out. Now that's like nothing. People went blind for a variety of reasons, glaucoma, whatever. So we don't know why great grandpa, was blind. It could have been from glaucoma. It could have been from cataracts. It could have been because he had retinitis pigmentosa and his genetics carried through. And I ended up being the lucky person. My brother has it too, to get the recessive genes because it's 100% recessive.
Wow.
Yeah.
But there is no cure.
There is no cure, but there is a lot of hope.
Okay.
There is tons of hope. There is people working very hard for, there's something called Luxturna, which is like a miracle drug. It is literally restoring sight to people not with retinitis pigmentosa, but with another inherited disease. We're getting really close. We can give shots to people with wet macular degeneration. That's usually caused from diabetes. They're, getting really good with dry macular degeneration. There's hope. In my case, they'll have to stop the disease by taking, it's very scientific-y, and you probably listeners don't want to listen to me go into tons of science, but there actually are shots that could be available that are going to halt the disease. Then later on, we will be given either our own stem cells that have been told to turn into rods and cones, because that's what we see with. And mainly it's cones that are damaged in my eyes right now. And anybody's eye could potentially regrow rods and cones. Because in your eyes right now, you have 100%, your cells die all the time, but you have mostly healthy rods and cones. And people with any kind of inherited retinal disease, our rods and cones are either healthy still, dying, or dead.
My rods and cones are getting old along with me.
Right.
And so my vision is starting to go. I used to have 20/20, but are there support groups for RP?
Yes, there is. So there's like a low vision group that's out of Asheville, so we can Zoom. I'm
assuming it's a small group.
It is a small group. I haven't been part of it in a long time. There's Facebook groups. There's different foundations. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is fabulous. They have a podcast I listen to a lot. There's a lot out there, but it's still a very lonely disease. It's what's called an invisible disease. Most people, if you didn't know, would you think I had something wrong?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, right. And I would say most of us that have RP are really good at hiding it.
Yeah.
We're excellent at pretending because you just have to. Whenever you have a disability of any type, I think you spend hours and hours and hours in denial, which I think is normal. It's a way of kind of like easing yourself into it. And you also spend a lot of time pretending.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's hard after a while.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter what it is. If you have Raynaud's syndrome and you have no feeling, you spend a lot of time pretending like you are gripping as hard as you can to open up that door. And you spend a lot of time apologizing for all the things you drop. Right?
Yeah.
You don't know somebody has Raynaud's syndrome and they can't feel their fingertips.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of disabilities involve a lot of acting.
Yeah. Has it helped your auditory senses improve?
Yes.
Do you feel that you're more focused on the audio rather than the visual?
Yes.
Now?
And as my vision is going, and as I still am trying to continue to do some storytelling, I find that I'm really in tune to the audience because I can't see, like, I definitely can't see the back rows and I can't see the middle rows. So I can't see if somebody's bored. People, if they're bored, they'll kind of like look around or they'll, I can't see that anymore. So I have to really rely on what I'm hearing.
Feedback and
that just auditory feedback is such an important thing to all storytellers anyway. All performers, any performer, we're just listening for that feedback, but I can't get those visual cues as much as I used to be able to.
So is it your storytelling background and your increased audio awareness that led you to podcasting?
Yeah, I think so. I felt like my sister-in-law had told me for years, you would love podcasting. You ought to be a podcaster. Podcasting is made for you, but it really wasn't until I had retired and I had, finished up that master's degree that I finally began to explore. And I like this is so cool.
Yeah.
So fascinating. And I am a good listener. And I think a lot of that is from teaching and a lot of it is from having less eyesight.
Yeah.
And so just to listen and I love it.
I did a brief stint in sales and I've said this on the podcast before. I had a boss in sales who told me that, the fast talking salespeople aren't the ones that do well. It's the ones that sit and listen to the needs of their clients. And that always stuck with me. And I think that listening is a lot more important than talking.
Yeah. Which is weird because we both have podcasts, but we do a lot of listening in our podcasts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not about us. Mm-mm. It's about our guests. And so thank you for being a guest.
Yeah. Well, thank you because you were a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in September, I believe it was. Yeah. Was it September or October? It was warmer.
It was
I do know that. And I was struck because I came into the building where you do your podcast and someone was being interviewed before me. And I felt like, wow, these folks are churning and burning these interviews.
Well, so the host, Vicki Dills, she's Dr. Vicki Dills. She hates it when I say that, but she earned that title by working hard.
Absolutely.
She's a physical therapist in town, but what most people don't know is that her physical therapy clinic is her side job, and not that when you go to see her, she doesn't give you 100% attention, but Vicki actually runs a very large physical therapy conglomerate up in Boston. So she is back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I don't think that they can sneeze without calling her and saying, help us, we're out of Kleenex. I mean, it just seems that way to me. Like, I don't know how they survive without her, but she chose to move back to this area. She's from here. Okay. And she's the person that was really like, we don't have local podcasts. I think that's what you were thinking. Yeah. Why aren't there many good local podcasts? Yeah. There's not. Right. And she's like, I want to do a podcast. I'm like, oh, I'd love to help. And that's how it started. Yeah. How did you get connected to her originally? We're in the Chamber of Commerce together. Okay. Yes. So through our business as home inspectors, my husband's a home inspector. We were just in the same group. We became friends. We just we're in the same age range. We have the same kind of wonky personality. And we have so much fun when we podcast because pretty much we laugh the entire time. We think everybody's hilarious. I think she's hilarious. I think she thinks I'm, who knows, crazy or something. But we just have the best time. It's been fun. Well, I always say you should do something as long as it's fun professionally. I think that it has to remain fun. If it's drudgery, if it's misery, then you need to find something else. And so I'm going to do this as long as it's fun. Yes. And so, that's what we think too. It's our hobby, but it sure is a fun hobby. Yeah. It's not paying the bills. No. But that's okay. Yeah. Not everything has to pay the bills. No. I think, does it give you joy? And I do think if you have joy in what you're doing, gosh, it comes through to people. Yeah. Like they say on radio, when you're speaking, they can hear they can sound like you're smiling when you're speaking. Yeah. And I feel like if you're having fun, I feel like you're having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. And I feel very blessed to live in this great county, to have these opportunities, to just be in my own small, Hendersonville's kind of like a small, big place, a big, small place. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just so blessed to be here doing what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah. Despite having low vision and all the struggles that come with that. You're making the best of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm a creative type. I need a creative outlet, whether it's photography or painting. I'm bad at painting, but I enjoy doing it nonetheless. Podcasting has become a creative outlet that I need, or I get really cranky.
Yes.
And my wife will be the first to say that. So it's become my creative outlet. I'm not making money off this. I hope that it'll push some people towards our business, our marketing business. If they want to, great. But I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
If you want to join me on my little journey, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, I don't ever want this to be forced into some sort of mold or template, or,
And I
you
think
can't say this, you can say this.
people will find, I feel like people will hear that, they'll sense it, as long as you're doing it for the joy of doing it. And in my case, podcasting for me is about celebrating the people that are making Hendersonville what it is. So our podcast is called Getting to Know Hendo. Oh, there's controversy about Hendo. Who knew? And I've lived here forever. We used to call it Hooterville. I'm sorry, but I would rather it be called Hendo than Hooterville if it needs a nickname.
Yeah. Hooterville is pretty good, though.
That's what we called it in high school.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, another great day in Hooterville.
I'm reluctant to tell this story, but I brought this up when I interviewed Sebastian Badger. He's the guy that runs Haunts of Hendo. And I said, when we moved to Hendersonville in November of 2023, my wife is like a social media guru, and her creative outlet was creating this platform. Whenever we would go out to eat, she would do little social media reels about the restaurants. And she wanted to do kind of a restaurant review thing.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was Hungry in Hendo.
Yeah, I like that.
And we got an email when we first started out. Hendo isn't a word. It's not a real thing. Nobody calls it Hendo. In fact, me and my group of friends will not patronize any business called Hendo. And it was this very gruff gentleman. And I'm like, wow, okay, welcome to Hendo.
I know. And I understand where he's coming from, because he is really, I'm imagining he was born and raised here. I'm not sure. So I get it. For all of those folks out there that love Hendersonville, I get it. It is long. We all know that when we write it out. But I think that I feel like the reason it's called Hendo is that it has such a strong identity. And I know that's crazy to say, but I do feel like places that have a strong identity get a nickname.
Yeah.
I mean, you say the Windy City, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure.
You say the Big Acro. I kind of felt like when people were calling it Hendo, I'm like, ooh, we're important. Oh, or somebody, we got a nickname now.
Yeah.
Asheville's Beer City, we're Hendo. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I like it. Plus, getting to know Hendo.
It rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, Hendersonville, 4 syllables.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a long time.
I know. And then we're North Carolina.
Right. And then there's Henderson, North Carolina.
Yes.
That's not in Henderson County. And
the confusion.
There's Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Yes.
I wonder if people there call it Hendo.
It'd be good to know. Maybe we'll get some listeners and they'll tell us. Taylor Swift. She'll let us know.
But we have a son in Georgia, in a town called Rossville, Georgia, and we call it Ross Vegas.
Oh, cute.
I mean, no one could ever think that's like, it's not like we're trying to change the name of the city officially.
Right.
It's just a little slang, nickname kind of thing.
I think a nickname is always endearing. And I feel like people call it Hendo because they love it here so much. And it's shorter.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. And I think Hungry in Hendo is adorable. And you guys should keep that going. Yeah.
I've got some other ideas. I have a t-shirt idea that I want to unveil. I'm not going to mention it because someone's going to take it.
Okay.
But it's going to use Hendo.
Well, and I think it's worth, hopefully one day Vicki and I will be guests again, and we'll talk about our podcast. But I do think it's worth it that people understand that our slants are different. You're truly about, I think, the story and finding all the little vines that, twist and turn and everything.
You read the description of the podcast.
Well, I've listened to it. That's what you say. But you told me that once too. And I like that. I think it's a great name. Getting to Know Hendo is really more about business and nonprofit focused, and we're really just trying to let people know all the cool jobs that are out there. I'm an educator. I want people to listen to Getting to Know Hendo and say, wow, I never thought about being an optician before. That might be a great job, making glasses and contacts. You probably want people to go, wow, I didn't know we have a guy that looks for missing in action people that live in our county.
Yeah.
You know, to you, the story is really interesting, I think.
Yeah. And you can, there are some folks that I invite on the show that I think, okay, they're someone that everybody knows. They have name recognition. They've done a wonderful job of the community. They've given a lot to the community.
Yes.
And sometimes they have a really interesting story hidden beneath the surface that you didn't know unless you sit down and talk to them.
Yes.
And then there's folks that have an R or a D in front of their name who you might not listen to if they have an R and D in front of their name.
Yeah.
And we've got to break down those barriers, because I think everybody's living in these echo chambers and these silos where they just want to hear from their people. And I think it does the community a great disservice when you shut off half the population.
Yes.
So I'm trying to stay nonpartisan with my podcast. I'm bringing a lot of. I had the mayor on, Mayor Pro Tem, and someone that's running again for their city council seat. Had a lot of politicians, if you air quotes politicians, but they're all people and they're all humans, and they all shop at Ingles, and they all go to Oklawaha to listen to live music. Right. So you've got to cut through the official narrative and get to the human narrative.
I love that. And I particularly love that you mentioned politicians, because they tend to just be figureheads. People, I think, often think that they don't understand how challenging politics are, and they think that, oh, there you are standing up there telling me, what we all need to do, and that makes them non-human.
Yeah.
They're instantly like a robot.
Yeah, because they're not really, politician to me insinuates that they're in this to be the politician, when all these folks, they have a cause that resonates with them. They've left, in many cases, left their old lives behind to take on this new cause of working for their constituents. The politician side is an afterthought. They are an elected official. So in that sense, they're, textbook definition of a politician, but they're not in it for the votes. They're not in it to run. They don't have any higher ambitions for seeking higher office. They're just in it to serve their community. And that's what I think that's what we got to focus on sometimes. And they are people just like us, putting one shoe on and
exactly
in front of the other.
They shop at Ingles, just like you said, just like everybody else.
Do you shop at Ingles?
I do shop at Ingles. Do
you? Yeah.
Of course. There's 19 Ingles.
Why
right
are there
my
so
house.
many Ingles in this neck of the woods?
Ingles is from North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's why.
But that's it? Is it the Dollar General strategy of just put a location in every street corner and people will come?
I think for Ingles, it is the familiarity of it. People have had one for so long in this area, and I think that it is just familiar to them. And I think it's almost like it's your, it's your main thing. And then sometimes you cheat on Ingles and you go to Publix. That's what I think most people feel like. I'm going to go cheat on Ingles.
That's funny.
Go to Whole Foods.
That's funny. I spent half my life in Savannah, Georgia, which automatically makes me a little bit of a storyteller,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
It's
in that red dirt.
I was in Camp Publix for many years. I wore the green and white. I loved the pub sub.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Colorado, where they don't have Publix.
Nope.
It's a Publix desert.
Yes.
And I also used to shop at Kroger when I lived in Savannah, but the Kroger near my house was called the Murder Kroger, because that's where everybody would get killed. So I would stay away from the Murder Kroger at all costs. Anyway, so I went to Colorado, and it kind of muddied my grocery store outlook. But, I guess I'm kind of a Harris Teeter guy, to be quite honest with you.
Well, luckily for you, it's open now.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, that's good.
Although much to my wife's chagrin. I am becoming more of an organic, grass-fed
Yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
So we go to the co-op a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We go to the
I do
Akusta
too.
Market.
Yes.
Have you been to Akusta Market?
I have to tell you, I haven't. But my sister religiously goes there,
Yeah.
so she brings me things all the time. One of the problems with being low-sighted is I've had to give up driving, which creates its own sort of conundrum here in Western North Carolina, because everybody knows it's not like there's a bus on every corner or that we have a great metro system. So
Yeah.
one of my biggest struggles is figuring out how to go places because my husband can't take me everywhere all the time. My daughter's, in college about to go to grad school. It's been an interesting thing. So if I was still driving, I would have gone to the Akusta Market 20 times by now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out.
Yeah, I
so
will.
where do you drive now that you're semi-retired doing the storytelling thing?
Like, what do you mean? Where do
you go during the day? What do you do? What is your day-to-day like?
So it depends on, if my husband has an inspection, I often go with him.
Okay.
And I do have a lot of things I can still do because I still have a lot of usable vision. But really my main task, I think, is to keep him on task, because he's like, if he sees like a furnace he's never seen before, he'll want to spend 10 hours staring at it and trying to, and I'm like, nope. The realtor said we've got to be out by, so
Short attention span theater kind of thing?
yeah. Well, also just fascination theater. He's interested in what he's in. Anyway. So, and I do, lately my storytelling has been, actually, I went back to my master's thesis, and I have been doing an hour-long storytelling called Holding Down the Home Front. And that is actually based on 5 women, one of them who lived in Hendersonville, starting from the Revolutionary War, going to Vietnam War. Hey, Faye out there in Hendersonville, Vietnam War wife. And I read the letters that they wrote their husbands, and I talk about their lives.
These are real people.
Real women.
So Faye, who you just mentioned, is an actual person in Hendersonville.
And there's a World War II woman.
Wow.
There's a World War I woman. There's a Civil War woman. Her story is really fascinating. And I begin.
Obviously, she's no longer with us, but
none of these ladies are with us except Sweet Faye.
Okay.
And they're not all from Henderson County. That was my initial dream. Oh, I'm going to find one from Henderson County. And I tried, and people helped me. And oh gosh, we worked hard. Didn't happen. So I had to go for more national people. So like the very first one is General George Knox's wife, Lucy Knox. She's the only person anybody would know. But I read their letter and character. So there's a little acting involved. And then I tell about them. I tell the story about what they struggled with.
That is so cool.
What they went through. And my impetus behind it is I was once a military wife, and my husband previous husband was gone for a year after 9/11. And also my grandmother was widowed very young. And I'm always interested in telling stories about women being strong when nobody is watching them.
That's when character is built.
Yes, because these women overcame tremendous things and little things. Their little things mattered and their huge things mattered, whether there's going to be enough money or I don't have a phone because I can't afford a phone. What do I do? And I tell their stories because I think that's interesting. I think it's a very unappreciated part of wartime.
Yeah, they're unsung heroes.
They are definitely unsung heroes. And because I could identify specifically with wives, I wanted to tell that story about their lives. So that's what I've been doing. I've been to every conceivable retirement facility that you can think of around Western North Carolina. And they've been very gracious to invite me back. And that's what I've been doing mainly.
Holding Down the Home Front.
Holding Down the Home Front.
And it's a book?
It is not a
video?
book. It is none of the above. I go right to them and I clip on my lapel mic that they hand me, and I have a slideshow, and we look at their letters, and I read that letter, but I'm not holding the letter. I actually have these letters memorized, which is hard with the Revolutionary War one because the language is so challenging. And I act like I'm reading the letter in character, so I change my voice a little.
Wow.
And then I talk about them, and sometimes I sing because most storytellers sing. And so it's like a whole show. It's a show.
Wow.
It's an hour-long
That's cool.
show. And it's just this idea of helping people really understand that women throughout all hard periods have often had to hold down the home front, even not during times of war, for whatever reason. Their husband goes away because it's a depression, and he got a great job building bridges. And she's gone. He's gone, and she has a whole year to figure out how to feed this family. I just am fascinated with these stories. I love history, and I feel like these are such unspoken, rewarded individuals. So that's my passion. But I still go around and do stories at libraries occasionally and at schools, and I love little kids.
When is the next time that you're going to present Holding Down the Home Front?
So I've kind of done my tour of doing it right now, and I think I'm putting it a little bit on the back burner just to give myself time to restart again. I am planning on doing it again. I'd like to maybe do a benefit performance. I've thought about that on and off. We'll see what happens. My husband's business takes a lot of time, and as I've mentioned, so I can't just hop in my car and drive.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I'm lucky because I have a lot of friends, and my friends are very kind, and they'll be like, sure, I'll take you to Givens Estates and go watch you tell stories. Absolutely. I'm really lucky that way.
I guess the interesting thing that you present in this is that you're doing the storytelling of these stories. What happens if anything happens to you? Are those stories going to go away, or is there some way to preserve those in time?
I mean, that's a great thing. One of the things I think, that's a great thing. It's a master's thesis, if that helps, because that's where it all started. So there's the research part to it. I don't know. That's a great question. I'm going to think about that for a while.
I would hate to see those stories go away.
Yeah, especially the Civil War lady and all of them.
Yeah.
Our local Hendersonville lady. What a great story. And not the story you think.
Yeah.
Little things matter.
Is Faye's husband still around?
I think so. Last time I checked.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Has he ever been on the Blue Ridge Honor Flight?
No. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I am a big fan of that, though.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
we
a
went
great thing.
on the flight in September, and we're going to go on the next one in April.
Yeah.
And it's, man, it just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, kudos to Jeff Miller.
Oh, yeah.
And all the fine people that work so hard on that. And what a great idea.
And, sometimes some people's roles in the storytelling is simply enabling the storytelling.
Yeah, I agree.
Creating the avenue.
Yes.
And that's what Jeff Miller did.
Yes.
Because every one of those vets have their own stories. Every name on that Vietnam wall is its own story.
Right. And I think that one of the genius things about it wasn't even just giving these vets an opportunity to go up and to see the memorial that, of course, it started with the World War II folks, and they're mostly gone. It was this idea of kind of re-celebrating them, allowing them to get back together. Just the healing that came from that, I think, is so important. That's why I think my little storytelling, I'm trying to help women understand that when their spouse was gone, they were heroes too.
Yeah.
But just very quiet, unsung heroes.
Yeah.
And I want to celebrate them. I want to celebrate these folks. I love that they have this opportunity to go up and see their memorial, be together, be remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
be welcomed back to their community.
Be welcomed back with joy and flags and cheering and we're so thank you for what you did. All of that is so important.
Everything is storytelling, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Ultimately,
yes.
The stories can be very, very short. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a sign on the street, caution, road will ice in wintertime. Yeah. It's a story.
It is a story.
Everything is a story.
Yeah.
The reels you see on social media are just short attention span reels, stories. Yeah. Storytelling is just interwoven into our culture.
And one thing I remember Oprah Winfrey used to do on her show is she would randomly call out a seat number in her show. She'd be like, seat number 42. And whoever was sitting in there would stand up and she would say, I mean, this is a vague memory, but I think she would say something like, Do you have a story? Every time somebody had the most astonishing story. And I think that's what attracted me so much to story too. Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Takes a little while sometimes to kind of nudge it out of people.
Right.
Some people don't even realize they have a story.
Yeah.
And they tell it, you're like, what? That's incredible, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your husband's business,
Yes.
he's a home inspector.
Yes.
What's the name of the business?
Oh, so again, we have my storytelling. My storytelling business is called Swinging on a Star Storytelling, which is really, really long. But our business for home inspection is called Peace of Mind Property Inspectors. Now, the next time we start a business, we're going to call it bob.com.
Bob.com.
I'm just anything.
Is that available?
Short. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know, but we keep on thinking, why did we start such long names? Yes.
Yeah.
So Michael is a licensed home inspector. He doesn't just do houses. He does commercial properties.
Okay.
We do radon. We do mold.
You know, Michael is the guy in our vision class who always asks the questions.
Yeah.
He is nonstop in the good way.
Yes.
I mean, he asks the questions that need to be asked. He engages
Yeah.
with the class. You know, oftentimes they'll just kind of kick back and coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael is asking questions and
Yes.
engaging, and that's how I got in touch with you via him.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. It's all about the connections that you make in
Yes.
this town.
It is all about relationships.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. He is something else, and he is endlessly curious.
Yeah.
That's something we have in common.
And you have a book,
I do.
Oval Man.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah. So during the pandemic, when I teach, I just tell stories. And so I would tell stories to my art students. While we were learning to draw people out of ovals, I just started making up the story about who this person was. Oh, he's Oval Man. He has a dog. His dog's name is Ovaltina. Why not? She's brown. You know, only the grown teachers that have been around a while get Ovaltina, Ovaltine, brown.
Right.
Yeah, and the kids would be clueless. And then it would just grow and grow and grow. So during the pandemic, my daughter, who is an excellent artist, and I wrote and she illustrated a book.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's funny because we just published it on Amazon. Amazon has a self-publishing platform called Kindle Direct Publishing. And it is the weirdest thing because we sell like one copy every month, which to most people are like, oh, that's terrible. But to us, I do no advertising.
Yeah.
I do nothing to it. It's passive.
And you're selling them in your sleep.
Kinda, yes. And we don't make much money off of it, but it just cracks me up. Every once in a while, I'll be like, Anya, we sold 10 books. Somebody must have bought them for their grandchildren or something. I'm like, here's your payday. I'm going to Venmo you $8.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it is awesome.
And the antagonists are sharp-edged people, right?
Triangularis.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy. Yeah.
Very interesting visual contrast there between them.
I should have brought you a book.
Yeah. Next time.
I will next time. Yes. So if you want Oval Man, he is available on Amazon. You have to look up Mary Davis Gage, or every once in a while you'll get sunglasses that are oval shaped on men. but usually I come up first if you put an Oval Man, which is really weird.
And your daughter illustrated it.
Yes, when she was in high school. Yes.
And you adopted her.
Yes.
From Russia.
Yes.
Moscow.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. She was adopted.
I'm going to have you on another episode for that story as well. Maybe I'll have you both on.
Oh, she would love it. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a great girl. We're so proud of her.
Has it made you look at Eastern Europe any differently?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this right now that after spending 21 days in Moscow, Russia, I can tell you why communism is the most terrible, damaging thing ever. So if anybody wants to talk to me about communism, I can sit down and tell you why it is untenable.
Yeah.
And it cannot stand it because communism is assuming that everybody is not lazy or ambitious. And if you are not lazy or you are not ambitious, you are perfect. You can just live in your little apartment the government applies or gives you and drive your little car and go to the little job that they say you should go to. But if you're lazy or you are ambitious, forget it. And tons of people are lazy and tons of people are ambitious. It just does not work. And seeing the ravages that beautiful country went through because of communism, that's a whole other podcast.
I saw a bumper sticker today in Hendersonville, and it said, "Eat the rich." And it made me think about communism.
Yeah. Yeah. So the problem is that there will always be the rich.
Yeah.
Because there were the rich under communism. There were people making out like gangbusters.
Sure.
Because there's always ambitious people.
Yeah.
There's always people that play the system.
Yeah. I guess what I was getting at is that I feel that now in our society, there's this view that, hey, we didn't do socialism right, or we didn't do communism right. Let's get it right.
Right.
And there'll be no rich, there'll be no poor.
Yes.
But like you said, it just takes a lot of the human element out of it.
Yeah.
And ambition and freedom and all the things that we love in life.
Right. I mean, I found out not too long ago that in Germany, I thought this was so strange. In Germany, you give charitably, but the government decides how you give charitably.
Yeah.
So your passion for...
That's not charity.
Whatever. So if my passion's for safe flight, which it is actually, that's one of my passions. If my passion is for safe flight, then and your passion is for, I don't know, the Humane Society, then I might not want my money to go to the Humane Society. I would, but do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's so weird that the government tells me how to give charitably.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to tell me how to give charitably. I don't want anybody to force me to give charitably.
Yeah.
That's where some of it goes wrong.
Charity at gunpoint is theft.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So it's a delicate balance in this country, but I feel like we live in the best country. Great state, beautiful, beautiful county. I'm so grateful to live here.
Yeah.
And I think gratitude and thankfulness is what makes this country great.
Yeah.
The minute we quit being grateful and thankful is the minute we begin to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we need more of is communication.
Yes.
And listening.
And listening and being like you're a person and you shop at Ingles.
Mary, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Tell us a story.
Tell you a story. Oh gosh.
See, this is how I start all my stories.
We've been talking so long. I don't want to tell a really, really long story. Okay, I'll tell you a true story. Okay, real fast. No, I can't tell that story. I'll cry. I will tell you that in Henderson County at the National Guard Armory, it is extremely haunted. And it's left over, and the reason I'm thinking about this is because of your haunted Hendersonville guy. Okay, he was talking about the big plane crash. Well, most people may not realize that all the bodies from that plane crash went to the armory.
Oh, wow.
And so the armory frequently has or had a lot of shows. They'd have quilt shows, they'd have antique shows, and they always had to hire people to spend the night there. And the stories people will tell about footsteps. That armory is super haunted. So that's not a true story.
Yeah.
It's just like a little nugget of a story, but that would,
This is the National Guard Armory.
Yes. Which is out on 176 on Spartanburg
Highway.
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't been out there in a long time. Again, I don't drive.
I wonder why
that is
Sebastian Badger never mentioned that.
Not everybody knows it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Hendersonville. You got to dig and dig and dig. And gosh.
Have they ever had any of those ghost hunters, I don't know. Shows?
I think there's a lot of people that are, I think because the reason that it is considered haunted is for such a devastating thing. I feel like a lot of people are very respectful of the armory. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a level of, wow, that was so tragic. And if you need to walk the halls of this armory.
Let it fly.
Yeah, I don't think we need people coming in and poking and prodding.
Yeah.
I just...
The cemetery is kind of eerie too.
Yeah. It's Henderson County is full of stories. I definitely frequently tell local stories.
Yeah.
Ghost stories, funny little legends, funny little things about this town.
Is it the Appalachia connection, you think?
Yes.
The folk art, the folklore, all that
Yes.
good stuff.
Yes, and people never in this area never lost their love of story. That's why I feel like so many of the platform storytellers I was talking about are from the South, specifically the South.
Yeah.
Tons of them are from North Carolina
Yeah.
and Virginia and Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it's just that love of sitting on a porch and swapping tales. That's a great afternoon.
Well, Mary, thank you for sharing your story.
It was fun to be
Yeah,
here.
you'll have to come back on the show.
Yeah.
And then bring Vicky sometime as well.
I
So we can
will.
get both of you. I'll have to break out the third mic.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to get tired if you have Vicky come and you have Anya come. That's a lot.
awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
it was a pleasure. You are doing great work.
Well, you are as well.
Thank
Keep up
you.
the good work.
Okay.
Thanks, Mary.
The Kudzu Project is made possible by the Lucy Agency, helping businesses across the South grow deep roots and stand out. Based in Hendersonville, North Carolina, this full-service marketing firm builds handcrafted websites, eye-catching logos, and social media that pops for businesses and organizations. Because if your story's worth telling, it's worth telling right. Learn more at lucyagency.com. That's LUCEY agency.com.
Everyone has a story. And at the Kudzu Project, we want to hear yours. Go to kudzuproject.com and fill out our story submission form. You can write your story for us to read on the podcast, request to be interviewed, or even nominate someone else whose story deserves to be told. The Kudzu Project is all about capturing the voices and spirit of our community, and your story could be the next one we share. Visit kudzuproject.com and tell your story today.